Today is Palm Sunday, and it's the beginning of Holy Week, that most sacred of all weeks, when Christians celebrate the full showing forth of God's love for us in the passion of his beloved Son. When we contemplate these mysteries this week, because we are flooded with the great themes of our Christian faith, it's very hard to express the emotions that go with them. It's very hard to express their content of faith and their content of our doctrines about them, just by using human words. None of those things seem to fit. And that's why, in the history of the Church, the greatest music has been composed for this week, and some of the greatest works of art have been made for this week. Words fail because the word is silent, and yet our hearts can understand, or begin to understand, through the beauty which God has given us. Today I'm going to look at one particular work of art, or series of works of art, from the very beginning of the 14th century. They are the paintings of Giotto in the Arena Chapel in Padua, often known as the Scrovegni Chapel. This is a chapel built in reparation for the sins of usury, of money lending. And when it came to be built, its donor, Enrico Scrovegni, wanted the best artist in the world, Giotto, to come and paint the inside, but not just paint the inside, fill it with God's glorious love towards us. And he did this by a series of frescoes. Well, the whole of the chapel is frescoed, from the blue and gold of the ceiling all the way through the walls. In the Scrovegni Chapel, there are 3 tiers of paintings. The first top tier talk about the birth of Our Lady. They begin really with the story of her parents, Joachim and Anna. The second tier concern the life of Christ, his miracles and his mission. And the bottom tier, the third tier, represent to us the passion and the resurrection of Christ. And I'm going to look particularly at 2 of these frescoes, one from the top tier and one from the bottom, one from the birth of Our Lady and her parents, and the bottom one from the Passion of Christ. On that top tier, we see in the life of Joachim and Anna a most beautiful painting. It is the meeting of them at the Golden Gate of Jerusalem. Everything seems to have gone wrong for them. And to the extent that Joachim is put out of the synagogue, out of the temple, because he has no child. He prays. Whilst he's asleep, an angel comes to him. And Anna, his wife, prays, and an angel comes to her. And they say, "Don't worry. From your love will come that bright morning star, the Blessed Virgin." Now here in this picture, we see their meeting at the Golden Gate with some of their friends. Joachim's just back from the fields where he's been tending his sheep. And these 2 old married people, this married couple, they see each other and they embrace and they kiss. They look at one another with eyes of love. Their faces almost become one face. Their arm around each other. And the people around them are full of joy. The women behind Anna are smiling and laughing at what's, in a joyful way, at what they're seeing. And that embrace and that kiss we can see openly. It is a joyful scene. And this begins really the story of our salvation. They are going to conceive one who will be conceived immaculate from this embrace and the love which they show to each other. The second image I wish to use today is from the lower panel, the lower tier, and it is the arrest of Jesus. Throughout the images of Jesus in this chapel, there's a great forward movement. He is going somewhere. He's on this journey. And you come now to the arrest of Christ and the kiss of Judas, and he stops. If you like, Judas is putting himself in the way of Jesus. There's a kiss, but not like the first kiss. This kiss is going to betray and hand over the Lord to those who hate him. The face of Judas is pushing towards Christ. This is no kiss of love. His face is anxious and distorted, whereas that of Christ is quite calm and still. The kiss itself, we're about to see it, and the embrace is covered by the cloak of Judas on his left arm. There's no openness about this. There is no love in this. There is no joy to be had in this for anybody. And then the scene around them is full of chaos. Giotto left the top half of that fresco just to show the spears and the clubs and the swords and the lanterns of the soldiers who'd come with Judas. There's noise, there's someone blowing a horn there. There's Peter cutting off Malchus's ear. There's cries and pain, and their faces of hate. Now these two kisses, the kiss of Joachim and Anna, and the kiss of Judas, they're there as well as portraying the life of Christ. They are there to excite us to virtue. Indeed, throughout, well, at least at the bottom tier of Giotto's scheme, there are various vices and virtues shown for us. And to have that love, that open embrace, that joy which is given to us and then which floods to everybody else, like Joachim and Anna's, brings us to heaven. And yet when we're mean and duplicitous, when we allow wicked men to do what they will out of fear, then we, like Judas, hide our love for Christ, and it becomes something distorted. With these thoughts, I wish you a good Holy Week, and be assured of the prayers of the fathers and brothers here.